Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Zane, better known as the King Bahamut, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy I on the NES. In the last episode, we went to the Castle of Ordeals and got ourselves this stinky rat tail. In this episode, first, real quick, I want to mention the ice sword that we picked up along the way. That's actually a better sword than the silver sword, so I did some shuffling around of the equipment in order to give the silver sword to my character, because boy howdy am I gonna need a better weapon than the one I've got for this dungeon coming up. In this episode, we're going to be seeing what that dungeon is, and boy howdy am I not looking forward to it. It is a notoriously difficult dungeon, and it's really muggy today, and I can't open a window because I need to have this space quiet for recording, so I am probably going to be sweaty as balls by the time we are done. And if you know this game, you know this dungeon that we got coming up, and you know exactly why it is infamous, shall we say. Of course, first we gotta get there, and that means having to deal with random enemies, and the battle system moving slow. Okay. As you can probably tell, you want to follow the coastline around here and go down this river. Now, there are monster encounters that you can find in the river. I believe we ran into some last time. We have Caribs and Gators. I don't remember a whole lot about them. I think these are just pretty straightforward, basic attack enemies. But they should have a weakness to lightning, so we can probably just use the Zeus Gauntlet and get rid of two of them. Can't quite get rid of the Gators, though. And then we have a bunch of attacks that are going to miss because of this game's jank. Come on. Get rid of the gator, please. There we go. Okay. Now with that out of the way, I don't actually remember this river maze all that well, which is kind of a problem because I don't want to be taking a whole bunch of damage leading up to the dungeon we're going into. We have an Ocho here. I don't know if these guys have any real special abilities. I mean, they seem to have decent defense because it took an attack from Brian. Better than I was expecting. Come on, don't miss. Alright, it's missing because it's attacking a dead enemy. Like I said, sometimes this game can... Sometimes that enemy targeting thing can screw up your strategies, but it's not too bad, I guess. Wow, that was a pretty paltry amount of gold we got there. Do not recommend. Which is why I'm going to keep running into these guys again and again. Cutting away. Okay, so I think that top path is actually the one we want to go down. And cutting away. Okay, after that, go over onto this patch of land, follow it down. Fuck. Hey kids, you want to know why you read up on where you're supposed to go beforehand? Yeah, that dead party member is a pretty good indication of why. Let's fix that. This is already a great sign for how this upcoming dungeon's gonna go. I won't even be done with this recording session when we finish it. 'Cause I have one other thing I want to do in the next episode. Because I will say, this dungeon, it is difficult, but if you can get past it, then this game is gonna get a lot, well, maybe not a lot easier, but it's gonna get a little easier and a lot more fun, I would say. But you gotta get through the slightly crummy shit first, so here's hoping we can do that. I almost lost a second character because I forgot to switch my row configuration back before going. But we're here now, finally. But honestly, I am not, it's kind of a small comfort to know that we're here. But thankfully we can use a house, get all our spell charges back. And I am actually going to create a save state here. But here we go. This is the Ice Cave, otherwise known as Hell. This dungeon is hard for a lot of reasons. The main one being there's a lot of really dangerous enemies here. And it's also a decently long dungeon, and it's a proof in my mind again that even though none of this game's dungeons are overly hard to navigate, they're not places you want to get lost in. And this place least of all, because getting lost in here means you have just a whole mess of encounters that you're gonna have to deal with, and it's gonna drain your resources pretty bad. But thankfully, these red bones are not terribly threatening. They went down pretty easy, and there were not a whole lot of them. Brian, just bop this guy. Also, if you're worried about the ice sword that I have equipped to Brian, decreasing the amount of damage he does to enemies in this dungeon, don't worry, because that feature of certain swords is glitched. So the ice sword is basically just extra damage, and thankfully it's actually a pretty strong weapon for this point in the game. Like I said, better than the silver sword and the dragon sword that I had equipped to my characters previously. Give me just a sec. Okay, so we want to take this staircase down. Go through here. I don't want to deal with these guys. Oh, and that was a good call to make. They have the ability to paralyze your party members. There's a lot of undead enemies in this dungeon, and they can paralyze your party members, as undead enemies do. But the real threat in this dungeon is not them, it's the sorcerers. Because if you remember the sorcerers that we found at the Castle of Ordeals, they are also enemies you can randomly find in this dungeon, and they fucking suck. As we demonstrated last episode when I had a character get bodied by one of them. Jesus Christ. Cutting away. Okay. It's a short floor, but boy howdy did it, decide to give me some guff. Alright, so we go to this room. Oh, I remember this. Yeah, there's a bunch of holes in the ground. And we have sorcerers. Crap. I did not want to have to fight these guys, right now. Zeus Gauntlet, please be enough. That's not a good sign. Oh, that's really bad. Zeus, please do not get paralyzed. Worst part is, you can tell when they are about to paralyze you because there will be a slight hang in between the ability going off and the status effect happening. If it misses, it'll just have the ineffective message pop up right away. But if it succeeds, it hangs on the thing. Oh no. All of my characters are stunned. I am just going to cut this battle. I am not going to force you guys to sit through this. Give me a minute. Well, I didn't make it from that battle unscathed. We have our first death here. I am going to be conserving uses of my life spell in particular. Like a motherfucker, because death can be a real pain. So, lesson learned. Even if there aren't a whole lot of sorcerers that appear in a particular encounter, you don't want to fight them. You do not want to fuck with those guys. That's not a lesson I liked having to learn the hard way. Let's put our formation back. Treasure chests here. Only when we can get flame sword. Oh, that's actually a better piece of equipment than my silver sword. Oops, that is not what I wanted to do. I'm just shifting things around because it's gonna bug me if I don't. Flame sword is a better weapon statistically than the silver sword, so it's going on the red mage. Chance to strike first, aka a chance to run, because fuck the sorcerers. The nice thing about chance to strike first is that you don't just get a free action, it means you can run away. Oh! This is a mage, otherwise known as an Astos recolor. I think these guys do have access to the rub spell, so be careful, but I don't know. I don't remember exactly what else they can do. Oh, fuck. Man, I just cannot catch a break today. I am going to burn through all 3 uses of my life spell and have to boogie out of this dungeon and use another cottage because I'm going to run out of charges for the spell. I only have 3 at this stage in the game. And if for you, those of you who are wondering why I'm using the life spell outside of battle, you can't use it in battle. It won't work. If a character dies in battle, you ain't bringing them back. So, actually, give me a minute, because I need to double check which of these holes to fall down, because I think that it does matter which one you fall down. Okay, after consulting my walkthrough, doesn't actually matter which thing you fall down. But I don't know if that was a required battle or if I just got unlucky there. Honestly, I could believe the latter. I really could. We have more paralysis shit. I am cutting this out. Battles with paralysis are fucking obnoxious. Thankfully, I'm having pretty decent luck with fleeing battles. Okay, this stuff right here, this is a damaging floor. Mild flashing warning with this. But we go through here, and this is a booby-trapped floor panel, so you will have to do this fight. These are frost dragons. As the name suggests, they have a party-wide ice attack that they can do to you, so be careful with that bollocks. I'm gonna cast Fire 3, because why the hell not? I got the spell charges to spare for it, for now at least. And I would like to just bop these two ASAP. Well, bopped one of them. Thank you very much, Brian. And then the last one should be pretty easily dealt with. Yep, there we go. So Fire 3 spell can potentially one-shot them. That's good to keep in mind. Also give a pretty hefty amount of money. We have ice armor, and can't hold anymore, which means my inventory is full. I don't know what that item is, so I have to check my guide real quick. Okay, so the item in that other chest is a silver gauntlet, which we don't need, and unfortunately I have to fight another frost dragon. But thankfully it's only one this time, so hopefully it won't be too much of an issue. Oh, but we are getting to see what they can do here. Otherwise known as cast the blizzard spell. And that did a real number on my HPs. Thankfully, Brian was on hand to just bop the guy on the head. Oh, and for that, Brian gets a level up. And that means Risa will get a level up. But I don't know if any of my other characters will. Nope. Looks like no. Give me a second to heal. Okay. Back over the damaging floor. And I don't know how well this will show up. Thankfully, it only does 1 point of damage per step you take. But, I mean, it's still not fun to deal with. So, and there's no way to avoid that damage, unfortunately, because there's no float spell or any sort of terrain defense thing you can do. So, I mean, again, it's one of those things where it's like, it's not too much of a problem, but it's just, why? You know? Why do that? Alright, up here. Thankfully I'm having some decent luck with the random encounters, just giving me these red bones. But the game giveth and the game taketh, because this battle's not letting me run. There we go. Ooh. I went in the wrong place again. Take more damage. Go down. Over this way, we have wraiths. Give me a minute. Okay, with that out of the way. There's 6 treasure boxes. We get gold, more gold, 5,000, easy 10,000 right there. That I think was a booby trap on the floor, so I think this is another required battle. It's against frost wolves, which, if you have been using the Peninsula of Power strategy, like you should, then you probably are familiar with these enemies. Thankfully, they should be able to be taken down in a couple hits with a Fire 2 spell, if you have it, so you may just only need to cast it once. They don't actually have all that much health. But they do have the I think it was Frost is their attack. It's basically a weaker version of that Frost Dragon's Blizzard. Thankfully we get a pretty nice chunk of health and a nice chunk of change. Over on the right path, if the game will allow me to get there. Give me a minute. Honestly, I don't know why I bother running away when these battles don't actually take all that long to get away from. Open this treasure chest, we get a heal potion. Might not seem like much, but considering that's the only healing item that you can find in the game, wizards, I mean, they're not sorcerers at the very least, but I am still noping out of this one. And here goes life spell charge number 3. Man, if I had just waited until Risa had gotten that level up, I would have been able to use a spell 4 times. Fuck me. Ugh. Guys, let's heal. I'm gonna cut out the healing. It's not like if it was even that hard of a battle, the one I just had. It's just the game just refused to let me run away from that encounter. And with all 6 of those wizards ganging up, it just ate through my health. Ugh. I don't even know what to say. Like, you can see for yourself. I've yet to use all 3 of the charges I have for the frickin' life spell. So if I lose a character here, I have to go out of the dungeon if I want to not waste any experience. But thankfully, we do have a few treasure boxes here. And I need to look up what this is in this treasure box, because it's a piece of armor equipment. So in this treasure box is an ice shield, which is actually quite a good piece of equipment for your fighter, warrior, whatever you want to call him. So I do actually recommend you grab it. Alright, up these stairs here. Oh, that takes us out of the dungeon. Okay. I'm not complaining exactly, but... well... this is awkward. I was not expecting that. But thankfully this does give me the opportunity to use a house. Which means... oh, the spell charges are back. Oh, the spell charges are back. Oh, it does feel so good to have more life spells on standby. Save state, and let me meet you back where we were. Because at the very least I can fast forward through most of this. Well, after one encounter with some wizards later, Lewis gets a level up to level 18. I purposely avoided grinding before coming to this dungeon, because I didn't actually want to be all that over-leveled coming here because of a thing that we have coming up. Jeez. And after another battle with some wizards, I finally get my last level up. It is kind of obnoxious that the leader of the party is close to 3,000 points stuff behind the rest of the party in terms of experience, but whatever. We're back here. Okay, jump down this hole, which was what I was supposed to do. And we end up back in this room, in the space that was blocked off. Step on this space, and we have a booby-trapped guaranteed encounter. The Eye. The Eye has a bunch of instant kill moves and is generally a real dick enemy to fight. I recommend that you just pelt this bastard with whatever spells you got, the most powerful spells and attacks that you have in your arsenal. Just go to town, because otherwise he will use things like rub and the porn spell, I like to call that. But it's another instant death spell that I think is supposed to be more effective than rub. He gives out a pretty nice chunk of experience and money. It's over 3,000. But the Frost Dragons do give more, I think, so it's not really much of an issue. Anyways, we get the Floater. I already kind of made a poop joke, so it's actually supposed to be a mysterious rock. And the downside is we have to fall down this hole and climb our way back out the dungeon. But thankfully, we know that there's a exit to the dungeon that's not far away, so I will meet you back outside. Okay, we didn't quite get out unscathed, because I have 2 characters that got put to stone. That's not what I want to use, thank you. Select information. Okay! We made it out with our fucking floater. I would make a poop joke, but one, I already kind of did that the last time someone mentioned the floater, and B, I don't want to think about what we just went through and how bad of a reward an actual floater would be, so I'm just going to take pride in our accomplishments. And I'm also going to use a fucking... not a cabin. It's a house. House. Oh, there we go. I'm going to make the trek back to Crescent Lake off camera because, well, I've already done a whole bunch here today, and I don't feel like boring you all with my return journey, so I did it. I finished the ice cavern, and the good news is that when I meet you back here in the next episode of Let's Play Final Fantasy 1, the next episode's gonna be a bit more upbeat, and good things are gonna happen to us. So just you wait for that. But until then, my name is Zane, better known as the King Bahamut. Like, comment, and subscribe for me getting through the ice cave with a lot of off-screen abuse of my emulator's fast-forward feature. I don't know what I'm saying. Just end the part. See you next time.